constant innovation, unparalleled education, groundbreaking global business education you'll find only at Oxford College of Business. That's because all we do, all we are, is business education.
The Budget 2018 was focused on promoting SME sector and giving certain concessions for local industrialists.
Mr. Speaker, while commending our private sector for penetrating into the international arena, much more needs to be done. We have tried many strategies, including protecting local industries through tariffs. We have legislations that do not allow foreign investments in certain sectors. Perhaps most of all, our complex labour laws and bureaucracy have unwittingly obstructed foreign enterprises from entering into the country, thereby preventing the much-needed competition for the local industries. Trade reforms are integral to national competitiveness. Let me assure our local private sector, our government's policy of entering into the free trade agreements and the removal of para-tariffs should not be viewed as a threat to our local industries.
Finance Minister also proposed a new support scheme for the export market.
We will introduce an export market access support program as part of the trade adjustment program, which will support our local companies that already have exports of less than $10 million per annum and potential new entrants to the export market. This program will facilitate to meet the cost of compliance, which include the cost of provision of free samples, intellectual property registration, insurance and promotional costs undertaken overseas, to support in meeting the cost of rent of retail shop space or shelf space occupied by domestic brands that go overseas for a period of 36 months.
Meanwhile, bringing the tourism industry to the next level was also a focus area in the budget reading today.
The tourism industry remains a vibrant industry. Tourism arrivals are estimated to increase by almost threefold to 4.5 million by 2020. Our support to the industry is as follows. The increase in tourist warrants extra rooms apart from the hotel rooms that are already been constructed. In this context, mechanisms such as the homestay program will be encouraged, and the government, through the new credit scheme, will offer credit facilities to people who want to upgrade their homes in order to establish a level playing field for tourist service providers in both formal and informal sectors. It is suggested to register all tourist service providers with the Sri Lanka Tourism Development Agency.
Some strategies was focused to attract foreign direct investments.
For a middle-income country, we have not been able to attract FDIs on the same scale as our neighbours. Our processes must be relooked at and benchmarked against the best. It is in this context that I wish to propose the following. The Department of the Registrar of Companies, as part of its business re-engineering process, will establish a one-stop shop for business registration through the introduction of a single identification system and introduce a system to scan and digitalize company records, create a database of trademarks using its own funds. We will also introduce an e-local government application, automated construction permit issuing mechanism, integrated land registry, digitalized 45 land registers, and establish a national single window connecting 31 state agencies with the Customs Department, and I have allocated 500 million for this purpose.
Developing an untapped capital market was also one of his proposals.
Our capital markets remain largely untapped. As such, we will ensure the necessary legal framework and the policy environments are created for its further development. In this regard, we will divest our holdings in non-strategic enterprises, which I believe will create buoyancy in our stock markets. Our capital market strategy is propelled by a desire to ensure access to long-term funding at a lower cost.
The government allocated 1 billion rupees to develop small industries in the northern province.
The government will continue their efforts with greater vigor and commitment to bring the people of all communities of our country together. On an initiative of the President, the 50,000 brick and mortar type houses will be constructed in the north and the east. This is in addition to the allocations already provided to other ministries, 750 million. The government will support programs and activities in rural irrigation development, including drip irrigation, rainwater harvesting and integrated village development. We have allocated 2 billion for that. We are now at the crossroads of history. Are we to walk forward, united in our diversity, to a new age of freedom and prosperity, or are we to go back to the darkness of a bygone era? The choice is ours to make.
The budget today proposed all vehicles in the country to be powered by non-fossil fuel sources by 2040. All government vehicles will be converted to hybrid or electric vehicles by 2025. Import taxes on an electric car will be reduced by 1 million rupees, while the import tax on the high-end fossil-fueled cars will be increased by 2.5 million rupees. The import taxes on a diesel three-wheeler will be increased by 50,000 rupees in order to encourage the transition into environmentally friendly electric three-wheelers. The loan-to-value ratio for the electric buses and three-wheelers will be revised to 90-10. This will be extended for domestically assembled electric three-wheelers, cars and buses as well. Importation of motor vehicles which are not compiled with airbags will be prohibited with effect from the 1st of January 2018. The budget proposed to introduce a carbon tax where the applicable rates for a motorcycle, car and a passenger bus will be around 17 cents, 1.78 rupees and 2.47 rupees per day respectively. To discourage the use of polythene and plastic products, an excise duty of 10 rupees per kilogram for plastic resins were imposed. A 2 rupee daily tax was introduced on mobile towers. 3 state medical faculties to be built at Wayambur, Sabaragamuwa and Moratuwa universities with the objective of expanding medical education. An alcohol volume-based excise duty depending on the type of liquor to be introduced. Excise duty based on the quantum of sugar contained will be introduced for the beverages with added sugar. This duty applicable for beverages classified under HS code 22.02. 300 million rupees has been allocated for a weather index insurance scheme. The insurance will be a minimum of rupees 40,000 per acre for 6 crops including paddy and other 5 emerging crops. 750 million has been allocated to strengthen 8 credit schemes on low interest rates to support SMEs and micro-level entrepreneurs.